Well, it's certainly a very interesting dialogue about the whole question of how we measure and compare efficiency of our healthcare system across Canada. One of the real challenges that came out of this is the difficulty of both understanding the costs, the inputs that we put into the system, but very much at the same time the outputs of the system. There's so many different ways in which we can describe the overall quality of everything quality of healthcare and everything we're trying to accomplish for our populations that it makes for a very challenging task. Today we discussed a lot of different options about how we measure things on the inputs and the outputs. We also measured a lot of, we also had a good discussion about what were all the other things that affect the difference between inputs and outputs outside of health system efficiency that are kind of also measured at the same time. And how do you separate that out when you're looking at differences between cost for a person served or for some outcome? Is that related to how efficient our healthcare system is, or is it related to access, or is it related to differences in determinants of health? Those are all some of the different challenges that we really struggled with to get a good handle on. And it's a tough question. If we can solve it, then that could be critical information to move quality and efficiency forward. One, we have to do a much better job of just measuring how much money we're spending in healthcare. We have to measure that across the entire healthcare system, but we also have to measure it for different regions or communities, different pockets of people in the system. That way we can start understanding how costs compare from one part of the system to the next. We also need to have a better understanding of what is the actual quality of care that's being delivered for different populations. And again, if we can understand the relationships between cost and quality for many different parts of the country, then we can start identifying which are in fact the places that seem to have the best results, that seem to have the highest level of overall quality, the highest level of satisfaction, the lowest wait times, and indeed the best survival outcomes or other outcomes of interest, while at the same time have lowest costs. If we can get enough data to be able to collect that and then identify who indeed are the best performers out there, then that paves the way for us to start to learn from the best performing regions and start to emulate those best practices and spread those ideas across the province, across the country indeed.